Good morning. It is December 13th of 2022 and I'm going to take you with me on my day. So this morning I woke up at 3:50. I have a very hard time sleeping in. So I just woke up. I usually do a little bit of Bible time in the morning, and my favorite thing has been going through the Takarta Bible apps. So it's got some really good readings. It's got audio stuff for when I actually, if I'm too tired to read the Bible, I'll just put it on the audio book and it rolls and it's great. So I've been doing that, and this morning there were several different things that I read, but I'm trying to remember what stood out to me the most. I was kind of sleepy. So I read about, one of them was about just not being selfish in relationships and not wanting to kind of, I don't know, be thinking more about how you're being treated versus how you're treating somebody else. So that was really good. And then the other ones that I read, oh yes, I remember it was Jesus was talking about how we are not called to judge people in a disdainful way or prideful way, but we are called to look at people's fruit and have discernment. So that was good too. And then I've been reading through the Old Testament, so I'm in Joshua right now, and it's fun going through all those stories. Right now there was the when you hit the lists of names and you're like, okay. But you know, good for them, they got their little spotlight in the Bible. That'd be really fun. So after I did that, I tidied up my room. Usually in the mornings I do a little bit of tidy. Actually, I usually do this at night. These things need to go away. They need to go downstairs, but and then the trash needs to be taken out. But I try to make sure that my room is a clean space before I go to sleep so that I wake up with it like this. But last night I was in too much pain, so I just waited till this morning. I feel like it's a very important thing to start off your day in a clean space. A lot of times if you don't do that, you're just going to be overwhelmed with everything that you have to do. You're going to feel like you're swimming in a mess, so you don't want to do that. You want to minimize that as much as you possibly can. Then I wrote down on here just the list of things that I need to do today. So this is my big board. And then I have important paperworks out on the desk so that I can get those taken care of. A lot of admin stuff today. Because of my health issues, I'm always having to take breaks. So because I did the room and like made the bed and everything, my pain points have dropped down from, like, I woke up with, you know, I'd say like 7 pain points, and then I spent like, you know, 3 or 4 of them. So now I kind of gotta wait till I get back up to a 7 to do more work. So I'm gonna go and get into my little aquatic office, which is the bathtub, and then I do my hydrotherapy in there. So I float usually for about 2 to 3 hours, and then I do some exercises in there before I get out. And that just helps with keeping my body limber, but not putting a lot of pressure on it. So yeah. And then yesterday I went to a new doctor and got new supplements. So these are the supplements that I'm taking right now. So it's actually kind of smaller compared to a lot of the other stuff that I've done. I used to take so many supplements, but we're getting there. And yeah, so I had something important to say about something and I can't remember what it was. I remembered what I was gonna say. It was make yourself good at doing the things you're not good at. Practice doing hard things. So when I was just graduated from college. I was that age, but I hadn't graduated from college yet. I was about 22, 23, and I had been under a lot of family stress, tons of family stress. And so I had been having panic attacks that whole year. It was just not a pretty thing. But I went to go work for an office where I was the main person for everything. And if you've ever been the main point person, there we go. If you've ever been the main point person for an office, you'll know that you kind of have to be firing at all, you know, all pistons firing. You got to be ready to go at a moment's notice. You got to make sure that, you know, A, B, and C is taken care of. It's a lot of stuff and people are really counting on you. And during that year, I did not do well at that job. I would be sending emails with a lot of different typos. They threw me in without any training, so I had no idea how to use like the QuickBooks system or anything. And it was very difficult for me because I'm a person who is usually pretty on top of things. That was just how I was most of my life. I could really stay on top of stuff. But I was finally at a place where physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I was not handling things well. And I was doing stuff that my brain didn't work well with. I'm a very creative person, and when I'm making my own systems, I'm pretty good at stuff, but I was being thrown into a system that I didn't create and they didn't really teach me. So it was just a very frustrating thing. And I kept failing every day at this job. Like it was horrible. And I had so much trauma from just not doing well. I couldn't even hardly send an email for like 2 or 3 years without having some kind of stress reaction. So I remember thinking I was horrible at admin. I'm going to be really, really good at admin now. And I had never even been good at my personal admin before. You know, if I had to do paperwork or something like that, I was always stress paralyzed and I would leave it for later. But all that does is create extra stress, because when you leave something that you really should be dealing with now, all you're doing is putting it off, and then you're giving yourself that time crunch stress, and then you're going to be turning things in late and all this stuff, and you don't want to be doing that. So I made a point and I said, I'm going to purposefully become very good at administration. And so at all the other jobs that I worked at, it was something that I really had to focus on. It was very difficult. It was not a fun thing. My brain doesn't function that way very well. But over time, I became good at it, and to me, it was almost reminiscent of how I learned how to drive. I was a terrified driver. I did not want to drive. I was convinced I was going to die in a car wreck. I mean, I still could, but you know. And then when I learned how to drive, I was so excited and proud and thrilled for myself that I wanted to be able to teach other people how to drive. So I've taught like 3 people how to drive, or at least been their main instructor. And that was so much, like it became so much fun because I enjoyed driving. And now even though admin isn't my favorite thing, because I've become good at it, I would say it's something that I don't dread anymore. So if there's things in your life that you're dreading right now, I really encourage you, become good at the things that you're not good at. Practice hard things and be a person who is striving to make your weak points. We all have our weak points, but strive to make your weak points the strong points, because then you're going to be a balanced person overall. It's kind of like doing leg day. Nobody really likes it, but we have to do it. Otherwise we look silly, right? So you want to make sure that you're being a balanced person, and you want to make sure that you're strengthening the things that you're not good at, because that's what God has put us here to do. He's put us here to be strong overall, and you know, to rely on Him, not on ourselves. And that's when we work on our weaknesses, that's when He can really work in us, because if we're only ever doing the things that we're good at, we don't really have to rely on Him, and we're not becoming balanced people. All right, so this is my little aquatic office over here, and I usually have a stack of books. I'm working on this one right now. This is at the back of the North Wind, so I usually try to read a little bit while I'm in the tub. I also have books on my phone and stuff that I use. And then recently, because it's been so dry, I've actually been soaking my face with this Aquaphor stuff, which it's been working really well. So if you struggle with dry, cracky skin, this is something that I recommend. And then I also, this is my secret ingredient right now. Not the peanut butter. I put this in a peanut butter jar. This is actually, I'm gonna say it wrong. I think it's diatomaceous. It could be diatomaceous. Anyway, whatever. It's this earth clay stuff that's very easy and gentle on the skin, but it helps to dry out just acne and rashes and stuff like that. So if you have fussy skin, I really recommend that. So that's what I've been doing. And then normally what I will do is I will try to do a little bit of writing on my phone while I'm in the tub if I can. Today I've got a lot of office stuff that I have to do, and I need to kind of gather pain points, so I might just listen to a podcast or something. I've been doing a lot of podcasts, and I've also been doing a lot of Jonathan Ogden worship music, so I might just do some of that. But my first thing is going to be doing my reading. Reading is very difficult for me at this point because of brain functionality and all that kind of stuff, but I you know, as a writer, it's very important to be reading, and I think that just in general, it's important to be reading. Our society has become so illiterate in the sense that we don't read, and we don't have old story, and we are overrun by very shallow stories, or they're trying, like metaphysically rewritten stories. They want to alter reality through story by giving you a false story. So it's very important to be putting real stories into yourself. So whenever you can find the time for that. And for me, because I can't sit down comfortably anymore to read a book, I have to be mostly, try to be out of pain so I can focus. That's when I do that in the bathtub. So yeah, so that is what I'm going to try to do. And then I will see you in a bit. Okay, so I came down with my various paraphernalia, and so I'll just wash that, put this freezer on. I'm trying to be better. My sister's been like, you're leaving little messes on the stairs, so I'm trying really hard not to do that. And then when I came down here, the dishes just need to be put away. So I have been trying, because this is what's difficult. Lifting anything is painful. So like a lot of times I'll just kind of slide things around. So I am limited in how much like leaning and bending I can do, because this is as far as I can, like my back does not bend, okay? It has no bend to it. So you basically feel like your whole spine is a stretched out rubber band that's really tight, and any movement's gonna cause it to snap. So I've learned to be good about like, okay, bending certain ways and things, but you just don't think about how much you use your body and how much of a gift it is until it's been taken away from you. And so I used to be able to do everything in the kitchen. I used to be able to do, clean my whole house in 40 minutes practically. And I can't do that anymore. So my sister does a lot, and I've been trying, as I get a few more pain points, to just help her here and there. So at least when I have the dishes off of the counter, it's easier for her to come in there visually. And if you are, if you and your roommate live together, your spouse, or just you and your kids, or you and your brothers and sisters, if you can do little things like that for each other that show that you care and that you are paying attention to how much the other person is doing, and you know what kind of things make life easier for them. I know that my sister, she does really well if things are visually tidy. She comes in here and she's less overwhelmed about all the things that she has to do. So if you can do that for your family members or whoever you live with, that can be very helpful in maintaining not only your home, but your relationships. So that's what I'll try to do. And then I'm going to fill up, I'm actually using my water bottle as a stand, but I'm going to fill up my water bottle so that I don't dehydrate while I'm in the tub. Okay. Okay, well, so my sister ended up needing to take a shower before I could get in the tub. So I am going to roll out my hips. I use, oh, look at the lights. They look so nice like that. Lexi got those for me. I don't know, $3, and you flick the switch and it's instant joy. So I'll show this to you guys real quick. Okay, so I use tennis balls to roll out my hips and glutes, and that has been helping a lot because for whatever reason, I have my muscles just get really, really out of whack. And then I'm soaking with something on my skin. Any chance that you can get to soak something on your skin is always good. I'm gonna turn out the light so that I can watch the bluing sky. That's one of my favorite things to do. Ever since I was a kid, when I would wake up early. I don't know how much we're gonna be able to see. Yeah, there it is. There's a little bit of snow out there to make it just a little more magical. And one of the things about life is that you have to be flexible. I think sometimes we get so fixed in our ideas, and life is not like that. Our whole life is built on the foundation of flexibility. Everything around us is in flux and in change. And if we're not willing to adapt, then we don't get anywhere. So if something goes awry in your day, or something is not as planned, that's fine. It's, life is not about our plans, it's about God's plans. And when you can adapt and change, you're a lot more happy than when you're brittle and you can't make those flexibility changes. So yes, let's be flexible, shall we? While I work on my flexibility. So lately I've been listening to a ton of Jonathan Ogden worship. I love that guy. And I just find that if I am having worship going on when I'm doing things, it's sinking into my subconscious, and that's what I am singing in my heart during the day. And that's what I want to be singing in my heart during the day. And it's not that other music is bad or anything. It's just that when you are in a place, especially when you need to be stronger in what God's calling you to do, having that in the background and having that song in your heart is really helpful. And I'm glad that throughout my childhood, almost all of my music was either focused on God, focused on life as it actually happens, not life as it the pop culture wants it to happen. I was raised with a lot of folk music, and then good worship music, you know, so that really, those are the things that run in the background. And when you have this running in the background and that song in your heart is like just God there with you, Jesus there with you, it helps so much throughout the day. Okay, so right now, the kinds of things that I do that are really helpful are, you want to kind of go like way on the, if you can think about your pelvis where those, like the holes are, that's kind of where you want to be rolling out your hips for someone like me. So yeah, I just kind of tend to like rock back and forth. You don't want to be putting a lot of extra pressure because moving the muscles too much causes a lot of irritation. So you just kind of have to breathe and lollygag, which I'm not very good at doing, but I'm working on it. Trying to get good at the things I'm not good at, so yeah. And then the other thing that I'll do is just these, which is so lame and embarrassing for a dancer. Like, this is not stretching. This is stretching. But it's okay. So, yeah, I'll do that for a little bit. I'm gonna be good about this. I'm having a good thought, so I'm gonna capture it. So right now, I was staring at these lights. And because I have bad eyes, they literally look like stars, and I can't see the strings that they're on, so it just kind of looks like this magical framing of it. And I thought, wow, you know, sometimes the things that cause us pain or the things that are difficult in the end will make things more beautiful. So that's just a morning thought for you. Okay, so I just wrote this while I was laying down, and I wanted to kind of read it and explain it because I got very excited about connections and repetition. So we have, I'll read it and then we'll go through it. So, I don't know what will happen to me. There are things I'd like to do, people I'd like to see, but I don't know what will happen to me. So I must, like you said, not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day comes with its own set of troubles, but take heart, you say, I have overcome the world. And whatever happens to me, I know you are good, so I'll seek first the kingdom. And whatever happens to me, all these things will be added unto. And one day I'll be with you, finally free to be myself in your glory. Okay, so we have up here, we have these E sounding rhymes, right? So we have, I don't know what will happen to me, E. There are things I'd like to do, people like to see, E, but I don't know what will happen to me. So you have E, bumpa, E, E, okay? So it's kind of, your ear catches this little repetition. It's almost like the same note. And then, so I must, like you said, not worry. So I'm bringing back the E sound here. So this is connecting up here to all these thoughts. E, 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 about tomorrow. For tomorrow, so we have repetition, tomorrow, so this is important, tomorrow, will worry about itself. So you're kind of breaking the repetition there with itself. Each day comes with its own set of troubles, but take heart, you say, I have overcome the world. So these two things are two different Bible verses that I'm connecting. So there's one where Jesus is, I can't remember which, I think maybe it's the Sermon on the Mount, but he says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day comes with its own, and then each day comes with its own set of troubles. And then this is a different verse when it says, he says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So if you know these verses, you know the repetition is on trouble, even though trouble is only repeated once, because we have troubles, and then this verse actually was referring to trouble. So because the actual verse says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And then, and whatever happens to me, I know you are good, so I'll seek first the kingdom. And then we have it again, and whatever happens to me. So it's that repetition of saying to myself, it's like what David said, I will say to myself, you know, rejoice in the Lord always. And so it's this thing of, I will tell myself to calm down. I will tell myself, I know you are good, so I'll seek first the kingdom, and whatever happens to me. And it's kind of like this first one is, and whatever happens to me, and then this one is, and whatever happens to me. You can almost even like add an emphasis. All these things will be added unto. And this is another Bible verse that it's alluding to, so it's another connection. There's, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. So it's just basically looping the kingdom part up here with this down here. So it's just making more connections. And one day I'll finally be with you. So you have this E sound again, be with you, finally free, E, to be, E again, myself in your glory. So it ends on this E. So it starts with me, the E sound with me, E, E, and then it ends with glory, E, E. So I just got really excited because I saw all these little connections, and I thought that was a good little lesson on poetry, and how when we're thinking like this all day, connecting, you can start hearing the sound and the rhythm of life, and it's just kind of cool. Oh, Kermit. That's my Kermit. Well, I don't know. Well, I'd like to eventually. Kermit.
Like, it was, you know how when you try a new church and you're really hoping it's going to be good,
Yeah,
and you hope
totally.
that you really feel the Spirit there, and every time it's like, yeah, there's a little something here,
Yeah.
but it's never like an overwhelming, like, there was like something so special about that church. It is not even funny. Like, you know when you have a moment about when you're with God on your own,
Yeah.
and you're just like, you're so moved and you just start to cry. It was like stepping into a moment that you didn't even start yourself. It was just there.
Okay, so this is Mama.
Being sick is a full-time job. Did you know that? I woke up, I did the oxygenator, the vitalizer, and then I did the infrared on my stomach with the massage, another massage
Down
oxygenator.
here?
Then I put something on my bottom and my legs to help stimulate muscle contractions, because it's hard for me to work out. And now I'm going to be in the sauna for many hours. And then later, when I have my cup of bone broth tonight, I'm going to go to the sauna at the Slick Rock Tanning and Spa with Lexi and get in there and have fun with her. So it's a day.
Yeah.
But the Lord is good. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Yes.
But I can use prayer.
Yes, always. So yeah, we're doing a lot of prayer,
And please pray for Ashley. She's going to be putting out a fundraising promotional for her treatments that I'm doing, which is acupuncture and supplementation through a gal who's been a doctor for 40 years. And she's healed people that it's like it's amazing. And, but it's $1,200 a month just for the acupuncture, not counting the office visits and supplementation for the first 3 months. And now I'm going another month because I had bad edema. I had like sausage fingers. So be praying for Ash that the Lord would provide for her. We're asking people who know her to help support her and ask for help from other churches or places. And our goal is $10,000. So be praying for that. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I love you, honey. Okay, so I am all dressed and ready for the day. I try really hard to get myself presentable because I feel like that just helps with a lot of things. You know, you can either be, in this world, you can either be sick or ugly. And I'm sick, therefore I cannot be ugly. It's kind of sad, but it's kind of true. So, I'm gonna make my smoothie. And then I have, my mom and I are gonna, excuse me, my mom and I will do some prayers together. And then I have a lot of paperwork to do today, so that will be fun. But I will listen to good music and it will make it bearable. Okay, so what am I gonna put in this puppy? I'm gonna put in, oh Lord have mercy. I sometimes I'm like, just throw the beef in there. Whatever, anyway. I'm going to do some celery juice. I didn't know this. Celery juice is great for your thyroid, and my cousin was telling that to me this morning, and I'm like, I'm drinking so much celery juice. Then we have lemon. I'll do some spinach. I think I froze some celery juice into cubes, so I'm gonna put them in there. And then I've got raspberries. I love it. Like this is the one moment you get your aggression out, you know, smash it. Anyway, so we got that, and then what else have I put in there? Oh, I'm out of my minerals and stuff. Oh, I do salt. I had been putting apple cider vinegar in there. I don't know if I can stomach that today. Maybe, we'll see. So I've got a little stevia to make it sweet, because this is not going to be sweet. Apple cider vinegar, I really should do a teaspoon or something. You know, I don't think I can do that right now. I don't feel very good. This morning it was so funny. It's like, just in case my body's ever like, hey, are you pretending to feel good? Oh, just remember you're sick. I got up to get out of the tub and I almost passed out. It's like, oh my gosh. Sometimes you just get sick of it. You're just like, I would like to just be normal, but you know, okay. Normal is overrated. Some Brazil nuts, beef, and that's it. So I'll put together my lunch. It's 12 o'clock, and I'll show it to you at the end. All right, so here's my thrilling ensemble. I did about a 1/4 cup of beef, a few Brazil nuts, my smoothie, and then I had to gag down a tablespoon of this. It's very pure fat. I wish I could just have bacon. That'd be so much more fun. But I just shoved it down the back of my throat, swallowed that sucker down, because the doctor said that I need to have more healthy fat in my diet, because otherwise all of this cannot assimilate into the body. So, yeah, so I'm gonna eat this, and then it's time for some other stuff. Okay, and while I was upstairs in my little office, I was able to get some writing stuff done for my writers group tonight. And so I went over a story and edited it, and then I helped someone with a resume. Then I just listened to a little bit of worship stuff, did my workout for 20 minutes, and now I'm getting ready to do a bunch of paperwork for disability and a few other things I need to get done. So I might not get it all done today, but I'll try to work in 30-minute blocks and then take a 10-15 minute break between. Not my ideal way to do work, because my ideal way to do work would just be to power through at least for like 3 hours, you know? I miss editing that way. I used to, I would stay up all night doing video editing projects. I just can't do it anymore, you know? But I've learned a lot of patience through this whole process, so. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so these are all the pills to take with the meals.
So I need to remember to take two more
doses?
Tonight, yeah,
okay.
Today.
Okay. All right, and then
you need to put when you're going to take the high doses, you're going to split it up. You're going to figure out, you know?
Yeah, I'm thankful for that too. I mean,
because I know that makes me a stronger leader.
It does.
You know,
I just think that's so precious. I like the way God made me. I hope we can all say that about ourselves, like in the end, because he really, you know, when you hate yourself, I hate this about me or whatever. Exactly, yeah, because we're God's creation. Oh, no, totally, yeah. No, I don't mean that. I mean, like the whole goal is, it's kind of like Pygmalion. Do you remember that story? Where the man carves out of the stone the beautiful woman that he loves, and then he's able to animate her and she comes to life. And I always thought that was a story about how God created us. Like he slaved over us and he's chipping away at this ugly stone to make it into something beautiful, you know? All right, so I got my heater going. I have every light on. I always have to have every light on when I start working. It's to stay awake. So I will be doing some paperwork and stuff, and then I'm gonna set a timer for probably about, I'm gonna shoot for 30 to 40 minutes. And then what's hard is that when I'm standing to do work, like I'm in pain right now, probably around like a 5, it's gonna get up to a 7. And then once it's at a 7, I can't think anymore. So it's just frustrating because it's hard to work when you're in pain. And sometimes throughout the day, I just get to this point where I'm like, I want to be done, I want to cry, you know. But you just have to power on, you know. And that's just one of the things I think that you learn having chronic pain is how tough you can actually be. It's kind of scary, you know. You're like, wow, human body can do a lot. But it's frustrating. So yeah, you have to, like, there's a, you know, like, you already have to gear yourself up to do office work, but to gear yourself physically to do office work, I can't even tell you how exhausting and tiring that is. Just even mentally, like, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, and then to have to focus on tedious tasks that I already don't like to do this, and now I have the pain of the distraction of pain. So anyway, it's difficult. So there's people who have it much worse than I do. I mean, I think that people when they're worse than me, they probably don't work at all. You know, that's where disability comes in, because I'm at that tipping point where I technically am disabled, and it's difficult because you realize as a human how much we attach ourselves to what we do as a definition of who we are, but that's not who we are, and that's very difficult because the world always says if you're not useful, you're not a human, really, you know. You can be useful in other ways. I mean, you know, God's given me purpose in praying for people and talking with people and all that kind of stuff, but I love working. And so that's just hard. It's just a difficult thing, you know. Anyway, I need to not waste my pain points and get back to work. All right, anybody who is into checklists knows the thrill that this brings. Da, 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 da. Okay. And did I? Yep. Just that one, and I still have that one more thing, so okay, cool. All right, the time has come for a quick nap. Quick nap. All right, hour later, time to get up. Okay, snack, work, another nap. Okay, so it's getting towards the end of the day. My back is on fire. That's okay, I will push through. So it is, what time is it, 3:45-ish? Yep, 3:45. And I still have a couple of things to do on my to-do list. And then I have a writer's meeting, so that means that I'm gonna need to take another lay down break with some ice. And then after that, I will probably crash. I'm ready to crash, but I can't. So let's see what else. Oh, and then I had 2 phone calls today. I had one with my cousin earlier in the morning during my office hours, and then I had another call with my friend Felicia. We always call each other on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I'm very grateful for. And so we just got to catch up and everything, and we both found out today that we both listened to something called GT and Halo Express, which is a very well-known kids show, kids radio show from like forever ago. And it was a Christian program where they did a lot of like scripture memorization, and they had great music. But we were both like, how have we been friends this whole time and not know this about each other? I've never met another GT kid ever, so that was kind of special today. All right, anyway, back to work. Okay, I'm almost to the end of the day. I didn't get done all of the things on my checklist, but I did get most of the things done on my checklist. So that was good. And then what I have found very helpful is that for the next day, I do a little bit of, I call it pre-work. So things that overwhelm me when I go to do office work are often things like, okay, where's this number? Where is the email address? Where is, you know, any of those little like tedious things. So what I tend to do now, how much is this? What's the, I'm scooping this out from my mom. 1 cup, okay. So what I do now is I make sure that I get a lot of pre-work done for the next day, so that when I go to do my office work, the number's already in my phone, the addresses are all, the email addresses are already pulled up, and I have, like right now I have paperwork that's out on my desk, so I know where that all is, and that just, it takes away one of those extra brain steps, because I think that for people who have a difficult time focusing, or if you have ADHD, we're movement-based people, mental and physical. And so if you can minimize the time that you spend thinking about things, because once your thoughts start moving, it's going to go boom, 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 boom. You're going to be everywhere. So if you can get yourself into just doing the work, that's the most important thing. So if I have all those pieces, right, those awful brain pieces, kind of like the jigsaw puzzle's already there. Tomorrow morning, I can just dive into the jig puzzle. I don't have to set anything up. It's already set up for me. I've set myself up for success at that point. So that is done. And I'm just getting my mom some food really quick, and then I will be chilling until the writers' meeting, and then we'll have the writers' meeting, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm exhausted. But this was a good day. And I would love to go over some of, come on. I need to go over, or not need to. Didn't need to, but I would like to go over some of my thoughts that I had from earlier today. So I might do that with you. This has been kind of a long video, but I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing this video, and I feel like I'm really working on speaking slower and just being at peace while I'm in my work. So I hope that you have felt that, and I hope that it's encouraging you to do the same.
You will. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, it's about 7 o'clock. I'm rolling out my hips, and then I'm rolling out. I am done. I am at the end of the day. The wall of tired that I hit is pretty heavy. So a lot of times I'll chat with either family or friends at the end of the day, and I really enjoy that time, but it's hard when I'm tired. But then I get a surge of energy. I usually do. My head is just killing me, and this is how it goes. So anyway, so that was my day. Is kind of a lot that I put in there. Oh, and I did want to go over, I wanted to go over a couple of my end of the day or my beginning of the day thoughts. So I'll just do I'll read them off really quickly. They probably won't make sense, but I'll read them anyway. Scrolling. See, these are all the things that I don't say out loud. Okay, so, oh yes, okay, so this first one is, how much do you really want to be well? How much are you willing to commit? Sometimes it has to get bad before you're willing to try something, but don't be a fool. We are all a little crazy, but we have Jesus available to us to help us stop destroying ourselves. I want to be well. Okay, yeah, so that whole idea was, how much do you really want to be healed, physically, emotionally, all these different things, because sometimes we keep doing repeated patterns that are bad, and we know that, and that's what I mean. We're all a little crazy. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, but we all do that, so we're all crazy. And so Jesus asked someone one time, do you want to be well? And the person had to say, yes, I want to be well. So I think that that's really important, to commit to ourselves, to other people, and to God. What is real life, real work, the real thing to you? Are you going to focus on or run away from what is real and true? True is what is real. That is why by ingesting more truth, we become more solid, and we become more ethereal, weightless, and unanchored and ghostly by focusing on lies. Jesus said to build on a solid foundation, he is the rock of ages. And then a really good quote that I heard someone say today is, when you pursue God hard, life is easy. But when you pursue God easy, life is hard. So that's the wrap up for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know how often I'm going to do long videos like this. Probably not very often. But I wanted to do one video where I was just showing my entire day and kind of what it's like to be living with the chronic pain and how I manage it. And then just all the different things I think about during the day. Because when I get distracted and start thinking about the pain and start thinking about myself, I can get, just sad. It's a sad thing. But at the same time, God's given me a mind, good friends. My family's very supportive of me. I'm very, very blessed in many ways. And so I'm just trying to do what he's asking me to do and bring beauty and thought into the world, and to take every thought captive. That's what we're called to do. Take every thought captive according to the obedience of Christ. So all of your little thoughts running around, you're like, aha, you're going to be obedient. And I'm, you know, like not, even though sometimes I get sad, and Jesus was the man of sorrow, so sadness is not all bad, but not like wallowing in self-pity or, there's a fine line. You have to feel your emotions, and you need to be real with yourself and with others, but it's not okay to just be weak. Well, I say that, and then I'm like, oh, but the paradox of like, you gotta be weak so like God can be strong. It's true. So, but we do need to be weak, but we need to be strong in the Lord. The Lord is the one who's our strength, and he's our joy, and he's our comfort. And we have to remember, even on the very worst days, we're not going, for those of us who love Jesus, we're not going to go to hell. We're not going to suffer forever. It's going to be over in a little bit, in a little bit I will wake up. Oh, there is one thing that I could read to you guys. This will close up our podcast really good. This is kind of a podcast. Sort of. Found it. Okay, here we go. I want to be loved larger than life. Remember, you are dreaming. I want to behold all the goodness I have longed for. Remember, you are dreaming. I want to know that all the feelings I have hoped for are not phantoms. I want to see their faces. I want the real things, real food, real clothes, real drink, real work, real people, real love. But the world feels like a lie, a disillusioned illusion. I am embarrassed to say I feel like a ghost walking about the halls of the world. Almost everyone I see tells me true reality is only a pretty dream. This is the real world, they say. Wake up and smell the coffee. But I know it isn't, for too often I have heard that other world bleeding through music. I have seen it in dance, in paintings, sunlight on water, crystalline snowflakes, in the eyes of someone else, even in the face of my own reflection. I touch the mirror, and for a moment I know that here hardly exists at all. I am dreaming. I must remember that I am dreaming, and I will fight to stay close to the surface, where those moments come to me and whisper, "Wake up, love, you are only dreaming."